Hello, everybody. Hi. We are going to get started here in just a moment. Oh my goodness. It has been a hot minute since I have hosted a Zoom call, and I have a sleeping puppy under me and a sleeping Doberman under me, and I'm hoping that we will not be interrupted. We are going to get started in just a couple of minutes. I'm just going to be admitting everyone, making sure that everyone's in. And there's a chat too. So if you guys want to chat in there, we can. I'll be asking questions and reading the chat throughout. So familiarize yourself with that. And we will get started here in just a moment. I'm just going to admit as many people as I can. We'll give them like a couple of minutes. Ooh, I'm excited. I used to host Zoom calls a lot way back in the day. This is probably my first one in 5 years. So everyone was asking today, are you going to record it? Yes. I don't entirely remember what happens to the recording or how I share it, but I'm sure I can figure it out. So if for some reason you need to leave, hopefully I will have the recording for us. Okay, wonderful. Great. So I'm just going to check on a couple of settings and we will get started. Hello from Texas. You weren't kidding about the yumminess of hydrated and the calming of calm. Seriously, like there's always this moment when I'm sharing something where I start with a small group of people and I send them product and I'm like, let me know what you think because I don't want to claim something that's just in my head. And everyone was saying, yeah, calm like actually does work. But with the tropical hydrated, I wasn't able to share ahead of time. I had had 2 stick packs way back in January and I was like, I remember loving this. But I hope everyone else does. I far prefer it over the grapefruit. I ordered 9 boxes. Oh. Hello from Florida. Hi, Bonnie. Okay, so we are going to get going here. Really excited to be able to host this today. Thank you so much for joining in. I really want to do these more. My intention over these next couple of months, ideally, is to do these master classes once a month for everyone who has an active subscription. So we can just like get into the products, get into other things around health. And because many of us are doing peptides for the same reason, like we have hair, skin, nails, body recomposition, joint health. And so brain health is another one I hear of a lot. So I want to start digging into these topics and we can have more of a play by play of how things are going and answers to questions because all of you have my phone number. And if you don't already, I'll share it now. It's 321-804-8344. And you can text me anytime with your peptide questions or even customer service questions because things happen and I want to make sure that you guys are taken care of. So my intention over these next couple of months is to continue to do these sorts of calls. And so if you have certain ideas of what you want the calls to look like or areas that you want to have support in, that's what the conversations over text help me to do. My goal, so with anything that I do really is education and support. And so when when I was sharing the collagen, I was noticing that a lot of people weren't, I would say maybe 25% of people weren't getting the results that they wanted. And when I switched over to the peptides and started sharing a little bit more and a little bit more with my clients, they're really the guinea pigs all the time. It's like, let's try this, let's see how it goes. And more people were having effectiveness. I always want you to understand why you're taking a product, what you're doing with it, and what your goals are. So that's super important to me. And that's what I'm hoping to achieve on today's call is really talk about the products that you have, why we're taking them, what the goals are, and some of the troubleshooting pieces that I see. And then next month, we'll get into macro calculations. A lot of the conversations I'm having with you guys over text is like, I got lean or I got fit or I even got the muscle metabolic collection. And how do I calculate my macros? So I'm going to take you through step by step how to do this for yourself with lots of examples and you're going to follow along. So that's next month. Okay, so as long as your subscription remains active into August, you'll get an invite at the beginning of August, just like you did for today's call. And we're going to be doing another little promo. You're probably going to see me start to share that new customers get a discount on their first order this month. But because you're not a new customer, you're a loyal customer, I can't just not include you. So if you have an active subscription, which you do if you're listening to this call, we're going to be doing 10% cash back on any additional item that you add to your subscription. So I messaged a couple of you guys this week and I'll continue to throughout the month. So with your active subscription, if you add on a new item, just send me a quick message and I'll give you 10% cash back on that item just so you can try new things because I don't think it's fair that companies put together promos for new customers, but we kind of like forget about the customers that are using the product and loving the product. So this is not hosted by Make. It's just something that I want to do for you guys so you can try out different things. So I would love to know in the chat, some of you are saying like, hi from Florida, lots of Florida gals, hey. I would love to know kind of what is your top struggle right now? Would you say it's fatigue, brain fog, bloat, mood swings? Like what's the top thing? I would love to know just in the chat if you want to drop it in there and let me know. And I'll just kind of share what I've experienced on each of the products. And then we're going to get into hydrated, how it works, why it works, because a lot of us are taking electrolytes, but we're not entirely sure what it's doing. And a main issue that I'm seeing is that people think that electrolytes replace minerals in their water. So I want to clarify why that's not a thing and what we need to do instead. So we have some goals of inflammation, fatigue, inflammation. Okay, yeah, inflammation. Perimenopause, weight loss and mood, maintaining weight loss. I'm up 10 pounds. Headaches. Ugh. Okay, so some of the before and after and kind of personal experiences that I've had with hydrated, the reason I was like, oh dang, I can no longer share Element, is I was getting far less bloating on hydrated than on Element with the high sodium content. For focused, I noticed pretty much instant mental clarity to the point where I only take it when I know I need to be on point. So before this call, I took a capsule of focused and it's not a stimulant. So I'll go to bed after and it'll be totally fine. Calm, Michelle said at the beginning, you weren't kidding of the calming of calm, and it is on point. Like it just, there are many days where I take two because that's what your girl needs. Then we have fit. So I use that for muscle building. Now, a big question that I get right now is the difference between essential amino acids and fit, and we're just going to get into that right now. So fit is going to trigger muscle protein synthesis 4 times the amount of one serving of essential amino acids. Okay, so if we're taking essential amino acids, I personally still take them. I take 1 scoop before my workout and 1 scoop after my workout. I used to do 6 total scoops in a day, but if essential amino acids are 4 times, if fit is 4 times stronger than essential amino acids for muscle protein synthesis, why wouldn't I just remove those 4 scoops and add 1 fit and save like $100 a month? So that's what I personally do on that. Energized, I use it as a pre-workout sometimes. I find men love energized more. Like for men, it's calm, focused, and energized. And that's not the combo that most women will choose. And lean, I use here and there for snacking, specifically timing around my cycle. Okay, lean for perimenopause works. Yes. So the perimenopause like stack that I really love and use a lot with clients and customers is fit, calm, and hydrated. Okay, so we start with that. And then if that's going like super well, because calm we need for cortisol, like that is an essential. And then after the first month, if we're like, okay, let's add in some lean, but I can't afford it, I'll oftentimes take out the calm or use calm when needed and bring in the lean for a bit. So you can kind of like mix and match. Even what I was saying initially, like with focused, I don't take it every day. With lean, I don't personally take it every day. And so you can kind of play around. So electrolytes. The reason we're here is to talk about electrolytes. Probably the most common issue that I see is individuals say, well, I'm drinking reverse osmosis or distilled water, and I'm adding my electrolyte to it for minerals. No, absolutely not. Not the same thing. Now, when we're thinking of a electrolyte, say for example, like Element, all it has is sodium, potassium, and magnesium. That's it. Those are not trace minerals. We need all of the minerals in order to balance our water. So if you are drinking reverse osmosis or distilled water, which I enjoy, like I have this cup, I'm going to show you. You can probably not even tell. It's a little bit yellow because I add mineral drops to it because we drink reverse osmosis in the home. So I add minerals to it. Your water needs to have minerals in it. Now, if you have a different filtration system in your home, like a Brita or a zero water filter, it will have trace minerals in it, so you don't need to add minerals. But the reason why we want the electrolytes, specifically the sodium, the potassium, magnesium, is for electrolyte balance, which we're going to get into in a moment. But what makes the hydrated different than the other electrolyte products out there is it has glycine, it has coconut water, and it has trace minerals. Now, these pieces are really important. So let's kind of like talk through the basics. So your cells rely on the sodium potassium pump. We learned this in biology at some point in school, right? So in order to push sodium ions out, we need to pull potassium ions in, okay? So this keeps our nerves firing, our muscles contracting, our brain energy steady. Oftentimes, in fact, today it was a great example. I was feeling a little bit off today, like a little bit jittery, and I'm like, it feels like an adrenal thing, but I don't think it's an adrenal thing. And I had a little bit of sodium and stopped instantly. And so we need just a little bit more sodium ions than we do potassium ions. In fact, the sodium ions that we need to create that sodium potassium pump are 3. The potassium ions that we need are 2. Okay, so again, this is going to keep our muscles contracting and our brain energy steady. And so this pump only works. This pump only works when magnesium sits on the ATP molecule that fuels it. So without magnesium, this all falls apart. Okay, so we also need trace elements like chloride and calcium to help stabilize that current. So if our electrolyte does not come with chloride and calcium, the current that makes all this work is not going to work properly. Okay? What makes this hydrated different is that we have concentrated seawater that's going to supply those trace minerals. There was actually a study in 2023 in a human trial that showed that the trace minerals, like in ocean water, can raise intercellular magnesium and normalize pump activity within 2 hours. So again, if we think of sodium, potassium moving in and out of the cell, it requires magnesium. We have our trace minerals in there. We can normalize that pump activity by having the trace minerals in there. So that was a big turning point when I started looking at this product and thinking of the woman that just needs everything to be dialed in. And when we're thinking about peptides and we're using these oral peptides, we require proper electrolyte movement for that sodium potassium, for the cells to take in the message of the peptides. And so a lot of us will think, okay, this is what I see. I'm just going to start with lean. I'm going to do lean because I want to get lean. I'm going to do it. And we're not focusing on the magnesium, the sodium, the electrolytes, and the peptides require a proper electrolyte balance. I don't care what electrolyte you choose, but please, if you are spending time, energy, money, resources, all the things on the peptides, please incorporate some sort of electrolyte. And this shouldn't be a problem for anyone listening live here because we all got the tropical hydrated and so we're massively stocked up. So when the sodium potassium pump stalls, which is very common in midlife, like after the years of low mineral intake, the average age of ladies that I'm connecting with one-on-one in my practice is about 55. And when we test their minerals, they are all low in minerals because we've had years and years and years of low mineral intake through diet. We've birthed babies, they've taken the minerals, and just life leaches minerals. A lot of us are drinking reverse osmosis or distilled water. We're not replenishing them. And so water will actually pool outside of our cells, and this results in those puffy ring finger situations, the puffy ankles in the mid-afternoon, the energy crashes as the neurons like struggle to fire through our body. And get this, when we have this pump fire, like this pump backlog, we're actually going to have stronger cravings and we will require more sugar to push sodium back out. So carbohydrates, for every 1 gram of carbohydrate that we consume, we need about 3 to 4 grams of water, and that water is going to come with sodium. And so when we're craving sugar, when you're craving carbohydrates, I want you to think, did I take my electrolytes today? And it's a really good anchor point for your brain. So coconut water is another active ingredient in the hydrated, and this is actually where you're going to get potassium from the product. So what I love about coconut water is that it mimics our intracellular fluid. In fact, when we were training for medical care on the boat, because we lived offshore, we were required, I think with insurance, to have like specific medical training for living on a boat. And medics will actually use sterile coconut water intravenously as a short-term plasma stand-in. I did not know this, and this totally underscores the electrolyte compatibility of coconut water. So for everyday hydration, having coconut water, specifically the potassium sourced from coconut water, will absolutely help with potassium stores first thing in the morning, get the pump firing up, swelling stays down, and interestingly enough, excess potassium or having enough potassium, in fact, we need 3,000 milligrams of potassium per day in our diet, will actually help the thyroid. So when I look at labs, I'll often see TSH suppressed. And when TSH is suppressed, not all the times, but often it is a sign of needing more potassium. So starting the day first thing with a packet of the hydrated, absolutely essential for potassium regulation and thyroid support. The last ingredient that makes hydrated the best choice that I've been able to find in an electrolyte that is easy to consume, tastes good, and isn't loaded with sodium is the glycine. So glycine is an amino acid. It basically, I like to think of it as sodium's buddy. So it's going to help to deliver the sodium a lot quicker. And it's basically the co-transporter, and it couples with the sodium ion and pulls water with it. So when a client comes to me and they're having issues with bowel movements and hydration, I'll often bring in glycine really quick. And glycine is actually one of the active ingredients, or active components, I should say, that when people say, oh yeah, I started a collagen and all of a sudden I feel more hydrated and my skin looks hydrated, it's actually the natural glycine in the collagen, not the collagen itself, if that makes sense. And so oftentimes my midlife clients report steadier energy and like fewer 3 p.m. sweet cravings, quicker workout recovery, because the glycine is going to take the sodium quicker. Okay, so any questions on the sodium contained, the electrolyte component? Does the combo mean you use them every day? If you're meaning the combo of like the glycine, the potassium, and all of that within the hydrated product, I think that everyone requires some form of electrolyte supplementation on a daily basis, period. My cravings have decreased. This is so good. Yeah, absolutely. Like you wouldn't think that an electrolyte product that has seawater, glycine, coconut water, and the balance of electrolytes would help cravings. Like, how does that even happen? But I see it time and time and time and time and time again. Should we use hydrated more than once a day? So I personally do. I do about 2 packets a day. I was going to make some fizzy water and show you how delicious the peptides and even the hydrated is in fizzy water. If you have not done this, you must. It is so good. So I do one in the morning with flat water and then one like in the afternoon with fizzy water. And that's what I personally do. I don't think you need to do that. I think 1 packet is enough, but I like the taste and I do benefit a bunch from just having a little bit more electrolytes. Is collagen not needed? Okay, let's just get into it. Let's do it. So I actually shared this in a, what was it, 23-page guide a couple of months ago. Just text me if you want the guide and I can send it to you if you don't have it already. But I went through all of the collagen on the market. So let's back up. For years, I was sharing BioCell collagen and it was effective. I loved it. It grew my hair. I was really happy with the product. It's what I did a lot of research on it. I was very happy with how it was made, the matrix that provided the support in hair, skin, and nails. There, like I said, there was about 25% of people that took it and it just didn't work. It just didn't work for their hair, their skin, their nails. That's primarily why I was promoting it. And a friend approached me in September about the bioactive precision peptides. And I was like, I don't know, man. Like, I'm pretty good. Like, I understand it's 25% of people just don't have good responses, but I love the collagen. She's like, just try it. Just look at the research. I know you're like a brainiac and just take your time with it. And so I looked into it and then I looked into it more. And then I was like, shoot, we have a problem because this is pretty cool. This is pretty cool. And this technology did not exist a couple of years ago. And so I put up a couple of clients on it and they had great success, like 100% success. And then a couple more clients, 100% success. And then I set up a group of 35 people. We went through it, like 97% success. There was one individual that couldn't take the lean because it gave them belly aches. And I was like, shoot, we have a problem. So I'm going to say something really bold here. I think collagen is outdated. And I think in a couple of years, it will not be at the hype that it is now. Unfortunately, most of the collagen on the market is absolute trash. If I was going to take a collagen, here are 2 reasons why I would take collagen. One, joint, like recovery. There's a bioactive collagen peptide called Fortigel, and it works specifically on joints. Like it's a targeted bioactive peptide, just like what we're talking about with the fit, the lean, the focused, energized, etc. Okay, it's a bioactive peptide, a bioactive collagen peptide, and it's going to trigger joints. So if I was really concerned about joints, I would take this. Another collagen that I would take, maybe if I was really wanting to like support skin, but I don't really think it's necessary, but if I really wanted to, I would do Verisol, which is a bioactive collagen peptide for skin. But those are really the 2 reasons. Like with hydrated, you have the glycine, check. Okay. If I was having a lot of skin issues, I would just take a hyaluronic acid capsule and put hyaluronic acid on my face and save money. So I don't necessarily think that it's necessary. I would rather you have bone broth and get the protein and the benefits from that than do a collagen powder. Is it too much to take hydrated and element daily? I actually have a friend who enjoys the element once a day and does hydrated once a day. I think element has a place for individuals that are on a low carb diet, like less than 100 grams of carbs. No leg cramps at all with hydrated, whereas I had them with element. Yeah, I really think that this specifically is the type of potassium that's used with the coconut water powder. Can we take hydrated and fit mixed together? Absolutely. So I don't love the taste together. I'm not like a big fan of the combination. I just find it overly sweet, but you absolutely can. Like I said, peptides require proper electrolyte balance and cell like balance. And so absolutely, if this helps you remember to take it, if this helps you be more consistent with it, then I would do it. I'm doing keto right now, 30 grams daily, and element was too much for me. Hydrated is awesome and no over peeing. Yeah, it's interesting. Everyone was fine on the element until about November. And I don't know what happened in November, but all of a sudden, many of my clients started messaging me the same message. I'm getting bloating. I'm having issues with leg cramping. I'm having issues with peeing a lot. And it all kind of happened in November. So we switched a lot of them over to hydrated and the same experience. So I want to show you, this will be my third of the day, but let's call it an experiment. So if you should have gotten your tropical hydrated already, and if you haven't, please text me. Again, my number is 321-804-8344. Just send me a text because you should have gotten it. So the packets open like really easily, right? And sometimes on video I share like a little frother, but mine broke and I'm too cheap to buy another one. So I've just been using a straw. So it mixes like pink and pretty. And it's usually enough to just like mix it up. Now I'm telling you right now, I am telling you right now, if you have a fizzy water maker at home, you must, absolutely must make this concoction with fizzy water. It's also great with energized, fit. Yeah, it's good. Don't wreck your calm and add it to water, like put it under your tongue. It works way faster. So yeah, it's pink and pretty and tastes like, what would you say? Maybe tastes like pineapple. I don't know. What would you say? It just tastes like happiness. I don't know. Do you have any? Do you have any? Okay, so I missed out on tropical. Will it be available again? Uh, I don't know. I have no idea. We were told that, okay, so we absolutely, totally, for sure sold out of it. I don't know if it's coming back. We were told that this was like not gonna come back. Um, so I'm not sure. Fruity Island water. It tastes like Kool-Aid. Okay, I was gonna say that, but I didn't want to say it because I was worried that people would think that that was terrible. I spoke to an operator today at Make and he said it should come back. Okay, don't tell anyone so we can buy more. So there's two flavors. I like the grapefruit. So this is the grapefruit one and this is the tropical one. Right now, all the kits and everything are coming with the grapefruit. Um, I've had some people say that they don't like grapefruit flavor. I like both. I think that they're far better in flavor than Element and Ultima. What's the other ones that I've tried? Liquid IV, Flash IV. I'm nervous to try the grapefruit since I don't like grapefruit. Melissa, just send me a text. Do you have my number? Just send me a text. I'll send you a couple of packets. Just remind me that I said that. Just be like, hey, you told me you'd send me a couple of packets. So you could just try it. Um, yeah, totally. Okay, so we've mixed it. Um, when do we want to take this? So we talked about this a little bit. I, if you were a client of mine and you were like, hey, I want to do hydrated, what should I do? Here's what I would tell you. I would take one stick in the morning while waking, like a cup about this size, okay, about this size. What I do is I wake up in the morning, I take my thyroid medication, I wait 30 minutes, and then I make this whole bottle. I think it's 20 ounces. Yeah, 20-ounce bottle with the hydrated in it. I sip it for like 30 minutes. Okay, so then I would do one after workout. Like if you work out in the morning, I would do one after the workout at some point. If you work out in the afternoon, I would do it after the workout at some point. You could stack hydrated with energized or fit. I wouldn't do both. Like I don't know how people do both fit and energized together. That would be like I'd probably deadlift 400 pounds if I did that combination. But you can do hydrated with energized or hydrated with fit. I would do calm. If you're doing calm, okay, on the box of calm, it says to take before bed. I I don't entirely understand why they say this. Now, there are individuals that when they take calm, it helps them sleep way better. And that's great. But where I've seen clinically calm work the best is between like 2 to 5. You know, that feeling of just like the day is still going, you still have so much to do, there's so much left in the day. Calm just helps settle you. And I find that helps you set up your evening a lot better. And so I would recommend, if you haven't tried it already, moving calm to like 2 to 5 p.m. And then focused can be anytime. It could be with your hydrated. It could be like before a call in the evening. It could be before a heavy work day. Okay. I was gonna try to share my screen and show you. I should have I should have tested this before because I remember doing this forever ago. I put together a document for you. And some of you have this document. Let me see if I can get it set up. Share. Share screen options. Sweet. Okay, one moment. Why? Okay, documents. Okay, I don't know. Give me one more moment. I'll try to figure it out. Oh, I put together a document of what to take and when, and my share screen just went away. So let's see if I can. Okay. If you want the document, just send me a text. I'll drop it over to you. Many of you already have this, but it's basically how to start peptides, and it goes through each of the products, when to take, how to take them, tips on getting started, all the things. Let's read through a couple of comments. I was drinking Just Ingredients. Right, yes, that's another one. Um, a lot of people are saying that they're doing the Just Ingredients. I haven't personally tried that brand. It's lower in sodium and has no sugar, but hydrate is higher quality. I've actually heard that before. Agree, definitely flavors are better than those other products. Yeah, like it's enjoyable. I look forward. Now I'm like looking at this drink and now I just want it because it's here. I took Calm at 3 p.m. and was sound asleep by 3:30. Now I take it right before bed. I've never slept better. Okay, then that's great. Okay, I would play around with this like on a weekend where you can have a little napsies, a little siesta, and see how you do on it because it shouldn't make you sleepy. Um, and so if it is, definitely take it before bed. The fit directions say to take it in the morning. Will it make a difference if you take the hydrated first thing and the fit later in the morning? Okay, so Cindy, the reason why it says to take it in the morning is that there's caffeine in it. And so if you're the type of person, like my husband can drink 5,000 espressos and then fall asleep, if you're that person, take it anytime. Um, but it's okay to take it anytime throughout the morning. So what I generally suggest is taking fit breakfast or lunch before noon. So it can be combined with the hydrated. And some people do best taking it on an empty stomach. Other people do best combining it with food. So like I generally have it with my lunch after I've worked out, and my lunch is around 11 o'clock in the morning. Mary writes, I take Calm at 4:30 before my long, crazy commute home. I'm much more relaxed when I get home instead of being wired. Yeah, so in some cases, it does not make people sleepy, and you're okay to take it at 3 o'clock. Will this recording be available? I missed the first 30 minutes and have spotty connection. Yes, Becky, I'm recording it now, so hopefully it works and I will get it to you. It's got to be possible because people do this all the time. Okay, so more examples on how to use. So you can kind of just start to like play around with these ideas because many of you are not just doing hydrated, you're doing some combination of lean, fit, focused, energized, calm, and you just want to kind of get a picture of what's going on. Again, I put that document together for you. So if you want this document that goes through like how to take and when, just send me a quick text. Again, my number is 321-804-8344 and just text me saying like peptide guide and I'll send it over to you. So let's just say you're crashing energy at 3 p.m. and you feel like you need a boost and you often rely on coffee, and then it just kind of all falls apart. Let's not think of, okay, then the action item needs to be the afternoon. Like when the crash is happening, I need to address it. I want you to start thinking of what's happening in the morning that's leading to the crash. So again, hydrated at breakfast, protein at breakfast, eating breakfast, right, ladies? Like eating breakfast. Let's not do the fasting thing. If you're going to fast, do it in the evening. Far better for cortisol regulation. And so that protein add-in plus the hydrated is going to prevent the crash in the afternoon. If you're still struggling, chances are, in my opinion, working with a lot of different individuals, it's usually a macro problem, a motivation problem, like just the environment that you're in. I've seen energized peptides do really, really well, the ginseng peptides in this scenario. Okay, morning headaches or puffy fingers. So let's go through that because it's a very common thing. So if you're waking with swelling, we can swap your first coffee for hydrated in a good amount of water, like the big 20-ounce bottle sort of thing. Adding like good salt at lunch and dinner. Colima salt is one that I found recently that doesn't have any metals and impurities. So you can just get it on Amazon, Colima salt. And I just learned that you can actually dry your salt. I just learned this, like when you buy salt, you can dry it like in the oven. And so you dry the salt if you want to and then grind it. And it is delicious and really helps with the morning headaches, puffy finger situation. Or in my case, how I know I personally need more salt is I'll just feel like jittery. And that's a good sign for me that I require more salt. Okay, sugar cravings. We talked about this, how proper electrolyte balance and the magnesium and the balance with the glycine can help with sugar cravings. So with sugar cravings, oftentimes the adrenals can be part of this as well. So adding calm can really help with this, specifically in the afternoon, hydrated sometime during the day, and lean, without a doubt. It's unfortunate because lean has a name that everyone wants. And so a lot of women will purchase lean and it's not always the best peptide choice for them. And so lean, what I see clinically is that lean is super fantastic for individuals that have a significant amount of cravings, glucose regulation issues, and like appetite problems. Like you can eat everything that's not nailed down situation. But in most cases, when a woman goes, I'm going to start with lean, it's usually that they need to start with fit and calm or just calm. So, hitting your daily protein minimum, especially when sugar cravings are happening, is good. And then turning off your screen by 10 p.m., absolutely essential. And like we were talking about in the chat, that hydrated definitely helps with the reduction of cravings. I have anxiety. Calm works for me better than RX meds. That's why I'm glad I just added it back. Yeah, same. Absolutely same. Like every afternoon, I was in that space of just overwhelm. I get afternoon overwhelm of just so many tasks that need to still be done. And with Calm, I don't. I keep it at my desk. Regarding lean, I only take one pill a day. If I take two, I get weird chest pain, stomach ache. Would that be okay? Okay, so curious on this. Do you want to text me? I'd love to like unpack this a little bit more and learn what's going on there. You can still get benefit from one pill. I have many people that just do one. And the reason why it upsets certain individuals' stomachs has to do with the source of the yeast. And so if you have a history of SIBO that's not resolved, I find lean can sometimes trigger SIBO-like responses. So my default is often fit. unless there's like a cravings glucose issue. Does that make sense? Okay, I want to shout out quickly to a couple of ladies that won. So the big part of this promotion in June with the hydrated and subscription of all those things was that I was giving away a ton of different peptides. So Karen won a box of Focused, Leanne, one, not me, another Leanne, she spells it different, won a box of Focused. Christy won Lean and Focused, and Amber won Calm and Energized. So I do these every once in a while. Definitely be sure to check your text. I try to do a mixture of encouragement um, and sales that happen and promotions. And like I said at the beginning of the call, um, a lot of the times you'll see me share on social media different promotions for new customers, but never be concerned if we're connected via text. I always think of people that are actively purchasing the products and needing support for the products. So this month, if you add a new item onto your subscription, so like let's say you have Fit and Calm on your subscription and you've like, I've always wanted to try Focus, but I just haven't. If you add it on to your July run of your subscription, I'll give you 10% cash back. Like I'll just Venmo you the 10% of that item. And you'll, anyone that's on subscription into August, you'll be added into our August masterclass. And we're going to get into how to calculate your macros. So that'll be a fun call to just kind of go through all the ins and outs of how I do this for clients. I'm going to figure out how to share my screen and actually show you. I'm really bummed. I practiced before, I went through it, and it just wasn't happening. Oh, look, my gosh, I just figured it out right now. Are you kidding me? This is awesome. Okay, share. Look at this. Yes. Okay, so this is the how to start peptides document. Um, Can you guys see it? Do you want to give me a thumbs up if you can see it? Yay, I see a thumb. Okay, thank you. Okay, so the how to start peptides. So this just goes through each of the items, when to take. You can take a little screen grab of this, when to take, how you can combine them, and also the early changes that you're going to see. Because oftentimes when we're starting a new product, we're like, I don't know if this is working. Like, is this working? What should I be looking for? So, like under lean, you should notice within a couple of weeks, like ideally, like under 30 days, you should notice just like a slightly quieted appetite, skipping habitual snacking. Under fit, we're going to see like a bit more energy, like it's going to be more steady through the day, not like, oh, right? Less post workout soreness because it's triggering muscle protein synthesis 4 times the amount of like a whey protein. We should notice better recovery after working out. Increased concentration and less headaches under focused. I was diagnosed with ADD when I was, I think, like 15 and on medication until I started managing it with diet. But I do notice a big difference when I actually focus on nootropics or, in this case, peptides helping with my focus. And I do notice a substantial difference in mental clarity and my ability to word recall when I take a focus. Energized. So you're just going to notice steadier afternoon alertness. Also, when I take this as a pre-workout, I do notice I'm a lot more able to perform, especially on the heavier lifts. Calm. I truly believe that most individuals experience benefits with the first packet. If you're the type of person where you take the first, second, third packet, and it's just like you're like, I don't understand what Leanne's talking about. This like is not doing anything. Try it for 30 days and just notice if you just have a more relaxed sense about you day in and day out, because there are individuals where they don't experience the benefits, but you have to take consistently for a couple of weeks and you should notice the benefits at that point. But this is a product that for most people happens pretty instantly. And then hydrated, fewer muscle cramps, better sleep, everything that we've talked about today. So you can take a screen grab, or if you want, I could just send you the document, just send me a text. Perfect. Okay. Yeah, so I think that's all I wanted to share with you. Do you guys have any questions specifically about legit anything to do with this? I'm an open book. That's what I do day in and day out. So I'm available for any questions. Oh, I'm so glad, Sandra. I'm so glad. So like I said, this is this is the first of what I hope to be many. You just give me a thumbs up if you would like these calls once a month, and we can just talk about ongoing topics and just get to connect with each other. Are there any carbs and hydrates? So I think there's 4 calories. Let me check. Do you want to send me a text and just ask me so I can look it up? I asked this for somebody else and I have it somewhere and I wrote it down somewhere, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. But I think it's 4 calories. I think all the packets are 4 calories, and I think it's like 1 gram of carbs across. I'm pretty sure, but I don't want to say the wrong thing. I'm having trouble with shipping. Okay. There were a couple individuals that were affected by shipments on the 28th of June. If this is you, just reach out to me. Like, customer service is great, but I have a direct connect and it's like way easier. So just send me a text. If you ever have any issues with any orders, just send me a text and I will figure it out. Um, Yeah, so the 28th, if your subscription contained Fit was like out of stock and it was taking a couple days and then some orders went missing. So far it's affected 2 customers, but if this is you, just send me a text and we will figure it out. Not even a problem. I overnighted a package to a customer because she was out. So like, I never want you to worry about the products that I recommend. When I plant my flag in something, I am like very committed to it, and I value your trust so much, and it's very important to me. So if you ever have an issue, I absolutely 100% need to hear about it and want to hear about it and want to help you with it. I'm taking Thorne pre-workout and drinking Fit while I strength train. Sound okay? Yeah, I'm not familiar with Thorne. I chose not to support that company a few years ago, so I'm not familiar at all with their line. But it should be okay, I think. If the pre-workout has caffeine, it's probably overkill. But I'm not familiar with what's in Thorne pre-workout. I do not know their line well. Do you ship internationally? I'm moving to Kuwait. Ooh, fun, next month. And I'm wondering if you ship there. Okay, no, unfortunately not right now. It's Canada and the United States. I have some clients use like a shipping supplier where they ship it to an address and that supplier sends it to where they are. Very excited for the peptide journey. Yeah, me too. I'm really pumped. I have a folder of pictures and messages, and it is getting big of results. Anytime you want access to it, you just let me know. It's getting up there, and it's so fun to read all the messages that I'm getting. I've noticed that I seem to be getting stronger. Is that a result of Fit? Yes. Yep, absolutely. It's crazy. It's so cool. And so that's what I'm talking about. 4 times the strength of the essential amino acids per scoop. Um, no brainer for me for sure. Your podcast on supplements and how peptides can make some unnecessary was so good. Would love a Zoom on that to get even more info. Where's my pen? Oh, here it is. I'm a writer downer of ideas, and I have all these pieces of paper all over. Yeah, I think that that's a great idea. So what Cindy's referring to is a podcast episode that released yesterday on Healthful Pursuit podcast about supplements. So Healthful Pursuit podcast on supplements. So a supplement masterclass. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot to that. That would be fun. Okay, deal. My first 2 shipments took 2 weeks each. This last one arrived in 2 days. Make just released in March, and it's a new company, so there's gonna be some challenges with these things. But if you reach out to me and you're having issues, I will fix the problem. Period. So don't worry about that. Just reach out. If there's ever any issues, just tell me about them. How or what minerals do you recommend? So if you're drinking a filtered water that's not reverse osmosis or distilled water, I don't necessarily think you need to add minerals to the water because it will already have minerals. And with the hydrated, you have your trace minerals in there already. If you're doing reverse osmosis or distilled water, I'm just gonna write a note. Uh, I really love Beam Minerals on Amazon. It's a liquid and it's a fulvic base and it's safe for dogs. It's safe for humans. I just put, it says to drink like an ounce of it every day, but I use it to remineralize my water and I love the way I feel on this product. And before we had two dogs, the bottle would last like 5 or 6 months. But now with the four of us, we're going through it about 2 months. Beam Minerals. Yeah, let me see if I can find the link and just put it in the chat real quick. Because I just actually bought some because we're running low. And it's on Prime right now. Let me get the link. Got it. There you go. Here, I'll put it in the main. There we go. Everyone. There you go. That's the minerals. Ooh, I could even be super helpful and put the most recent podcast episode. There you go. In there. Yeah. Any other questions before I finish my electrolytes and make myself some popcorn? Like a nightly thing for me is popcorn before bed. Essential. Thank you. This was great. Good. I'm so glad. Oh, I'm so glad. I was planning it out and you never know, right? Okay, so if you have an active subscription into next month, I will see you back here next month. You'll get a text message from me next month on the August call. Yeah. Thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight. We'll see you later. Text me with anything you need. Okay. Bye. Bye, everyone. Thanks for coming. Bye, Lynn. Bye, Jamie. Bye, Ange. Bye, Kim. Bye, Bonnie. Bye, Lori. Have a good one. See you.